November the 16th, 2017, 9:30 a.m. EST. Cast your mind back to the dark days of 2014 and 2015, before sunny ways. The last days of the Stephen Harper government. The leader holed up in his center block crypt, lonely and accursed, like some latter-day Richard III, though with better hair and no hump. The country wallowing in recession and despond, longing for tens of billions of dollars of infrastructure spending and federal deficits to save it. The people wailing for cool, enlightened leadership with brashly striped socks. Well, wait a second, stop tape. Statistics Canada has just released high-income trends among Canadian tax filers, its annual contribution to class warfare in Canada. Turns out things weren't as gloomy in 2015 as we all thought, or as Justin Trudeau kept saying. From 2014 to 2015, StatCan tells us, the real average income of all tax filers rose 2.6%. That was the largest yearly increase since 2005-06. Stephen, we hardly knew ye. Stephen, we hardly knew ye. Even better, the bottom 50% of tax filers, i.e., those struggling to get into the middle class, saw a 3.4% increase in average total income, compared with a 2.3% gain for the top half. Just to emphasize, that's a real, after-inflation increase. To be fair, it's not clear it's an after-tax gain, because these numbers are for total income, which covers all forms of income, including checks and refundable tax credits from governments, but doesn't deduct any income taxes. You might call it election platform data, all benefits, no taxes. In theory, the whole gain could have been taxed away. And there may be something to that so far as the top half of the distribution is concerned. But for the bottom 50%, it seems unlikely. No government raises income taxes at the low end these days. Other taxes, including payroll taxes, are a different matter. I'm betting this good news of growth throughout the income distribution, as StatCan puts it, won't be how this new data gets reported. Reporters are more likely to emphasize class conflict, which in fact StatCan does too, with its headline of top 1% share of total income rises nearly 1%. See? We knew it, Harper really was a villain. Except that, whoops, the top 1%'s 2015 share of total income, 11.2%, was still 0.9 points below its peak of 12.1% in 2006, following 13 years of Liberal rule. CBC's new four-headed version of The National seems to enjoy following up on its. I was going to say news stories, but most are really ideology stories, with PowerPoint slides providing an interesting little factoid showing how far behind more enlightened realms Canada is on various planks in the progressive agenda. I wonder if they'll make one for this story emphasizing the interesting tidbit that, from StatCan, again, this was the first increase in the share of total income going to the top 1% since 2006. Got that? The first increase in the top 1%'s share in a decade. Not exactly the impression you'd have gotten by following the feverish debate on inequality in this country's media over the last few years. As the debate gets more and more extreme, the data get more and more moderate.